we invited people out to come and join us in when we went to go to Iceland. And
Yes.
you guys, that was the first time we got a chance to meet. So we went out to Spartan, Iceland, and we all just connected. And I think getting, first of all, getting people together was really impactful. Getting 1 year no beers around a table together, and certainly around some adventure. So that was the beginning of things. And then, you've been incredibly helpful on the board, supporting us. So, really 1 year no beers growth and success. We've got a great team. Chris is a part of that. And then, as you said, you were like, I really think that I could help with this mastermind thing. And it was, in a way, it was a really big mantle to hold, because Andy had kicked off this mastermind.
Totally.
It was being very successful. He, lots of people were raving about it, as in he is the product. And it was like, okay, Chris is going to come and take this on. But has it, I mean, it's grown wings. Chris, you're going to be much more modest about it than I am, but it's seen phenomenal success, and the transformations that people get from Mastermind are just amazing, and what you've done with it is amazing. So let's talk about that a bit. What drew you into Mastermind? How was it in those first sessions, and what is it?
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, Rory, you were being modest, because what I was really concerned about jumping into Mastermind is that both you and Andy have very big shoes. And the reality of it is, the community, we all have had our lives transformed because of the two of you. And so my concern was, am I going to be as helpful? Will people jump into the mastermind and be disappointed because it's really just me hosting this thing? Or will they accept me? So if I take a step back, Mastermind was something that I had the opportunity to go through, again, as a member. I was doing what I think many people in the Challenger group do. I was having success with not drinking, and I actually had no idea how much drinking consumed my life. As silly as that sounds, that hour or hour and a half a day could really change everything for me, depending on how I used it. That my friends may look at me differently, may treat me differently. That was going to change things for me. That my career might be affected. And so I was asking this question, like, now what? Like, I'm doing well on this. I think I'm going to continue being alcohol free. What do I do next? How do I sort of reframe what's possible and open that next chapter up in my life? How do I turn the page? So I took the mastermind with Andy. And I have to say that initially, I think, like a lot of people that have met Andy or met you in person, Rory, I initially went through this sort of starstruck moment. But then I was like, no, this guy, he's actually here to help. And that's what he's focused on. He's not focused on being a star. And which was my experience with you, Rory. And so I jumped in, really not fully knowing how it was going to help shape my go forward strategy, but I was willing to try. Because again, I was wanting to reset my compass, and I was asking this question, now what? And I knew there was more work to do. And so I jumped in, and there were habits and routines that we worked on in that group that I was already naturally doing well, but there were some real gaps that I didn't know, some blind spots for me. And I will tell you, from that very first mastermind all the way now to launching this new mastermind at the end of the month, that is the big storyline here. The big storyline was, it's not that the clouds part and the angels sing and you have this big breakthrough moment in your life. It's that sometimes the smallest tweaks in our life creates a breakthrough. And Andy's program, when I went through it, helped me frame that and see that. And having experienced it and being transformed by it, again, I just knew that I needed to get involved. And initially, the way you guys involved me was that we just had a lot of different time zones we were trying to take care of. And so I just went in and shadowed Andy on a mastermind and help take care of people in the specific time zone of North America. And so really then started again to grow my understanding of this stuff. And what I will tell you is beyond all of the work that we do behind the scenes at 1 Year No Beer to get this thing going, the real focus for me, especially as a natural, I'm just curious. I have a curiosity for learning, and I'm naturally a storyteller. What's really happened is the more I've gotten involved in these masterminds and I've seen people's personal journeys and stories. And by the way, I've found my own self. I could find my own story in their story. That has really changed my understanding of what is possible here and what it is that we're doing. So for people who don't know what Mastermind is, it's a 6-week course. It's from a time investment perspective. You get a 5-minute daily challenge video from me. And there's about a 10 or 15-minute exercise that you work on. And so it's about a 20-minute a day commitment. We do that 6 days a week. We give everybody a rest or a catch-up day. And we do specific work over a 6-week period. And it's all about resetting your compass and trying to find those small things, those small tweaks that when they're made could create personal and professional breakthroughs. So that's it in a nutshell. I feel like I'm just rambling on, Rory.
No, because that was all amazing, and I'm going to pick back through some of this stuff. And I think you linked it perfectly, and it was your own discovery of actually that it's the simplicity. It's the simplicity often of these techniques and these things, which well, hang on a minute, I kind of do that, or I kind of do that, but kind of doing it and putting it into the structure, it would be like, it's a bit like saying I've got sand, right, but I haven't actually put the ingredients yet to make cement and build a house. They're totally different things. One's a house, the other one's a pile of cement, and actually putting those ingredients together. And I think that we knew that what we were building with 1 Year No Beer was unique. We knew that Andy's understanding of positive psychology, that both of us, being absolute avid readers of behavior change and positive psychology and all that good stuff, and bringing that to the table to apply it to alcohol behavior change, meant that this was going to be something unique. Those exact same things were applied because we saw thousands of people. Over the last 5 years, you would barely go past a day where you don't see a post about somebody saying, I've got through this alcohol piece, but now I'm feeling I'm unsure. Like I don't know where I am. I'm now not sure about my relationship. I'm now not sure about my job. I'm now not sure about what I'm doing. I'm not sure I've got this right. Why am I feeling actually a bit more depressed? I don't know. I'm dealing with more all of these things. And so we were like, this is really interesting. This is coming up for most people. What is this about? And it turns out, of course, we know now, we talk about this so many times, of course, there's a reason why people are drinking. And the reasons are complicated. In BJ Fogg's recent podcast, he was talking about how new habits are easy to cultivate. New habits are easy to cultivate, whereas bad negative habits are more like a weed. And the whole process of actually taking that weed out leaves this sort of areas that it was touching into your life. And so we go through this period of thinking, well, hang on a minute, which way is up? What do I want to achieve in my life? What do I really want to do? What are the things that make me happy? What are my strengths? What are my values? What is my impact I want to give? And so we saw this. That's where really the early stages of Mastermind came together, and you put it perfectly, reset my compass. And I talk about that, I mentioned that so many times, like, a boat without actual direction is just going to spin. You never really know whether to reassess or what to do. And it's the action taking that starts you in the direction of understanding you're pointing in the wrong direction so that you can go through the process of resetting your compass. And the big bit with the mastermind was allowing people that space and that time, working together in a group of people who are going through the exact same thing that you are, which is I've nailed the alcohol piece and now I'm thinking about what's next. What areas of my life do I want to focus on? What do I improve? And I don't know how many people we've had go through the mastermind. It is hundreds go through our mastermind. And I think, most people, if not everybody, raves about it. Certainly we have recently. I think in the lifetime of Mastermind, we've given one refund. Because the timing was. So generally, it's a very impactful program.
Yeah, one thing I love about the Mastermind too is it tackles a really interesting thing that we do as humans. As humans, when we want something big to happen in our lives, we set a big goal and we work toward that goal. So like, as an example, running a marathon, we say, I've never run a marathon before, and 6 months from now, I'm going to run one. And then we go out and we start to build habits and routines that support us achieving that goal. But what happens is you get to that goal achievement, you run the marathon 6 months from now, and literally the day after the marathon's over, you just return back to life the way it was before. You're not running every day. You're not training for a big race. And this mastermind explores that what has to happen is you have to transform your identity first as I'm a runner. And what do runners do? Well, runners run. And when runners run, then the marathon is just an outcome of that. It's not like some special event. It's just, it communicates who you are outwardly. It doesn't happen the other way around. And so this thing around identity transformation is what really changes us. And if I think about even the alcohol-free journey that we're all on, in the beginning of it, we say to people, hey, I'm trying to quit alcohol. Like if someone says, hey, you want to drink? And you're like, no, I'm trying to quit drinking. That's different than saying, I don't drink. I don't drink is your identity. It's who you are. I'm trying to quit drinking is just like an outcome or goal. And so in terms of resetting this compass, it is amazing that we just have to have some time back to ourselves to focus on, what am I about? What do I believe in? Who do I want to become? We're not human doings. We're human beings, and our best days we're human becomings. And so instead of just doing stuff every day, instead of just setting a goal, who are we? Who do we want to become becomes the focus. And so with Mastermind, we're really digging into that. And I'm not going to give away any trade secrets during this call, but I will tell you, day 3 in the Mastermind, consistently, that is when everyone for the first time gets this dramatic wake-up call. It was dramatic for me as someone who went through it. And I'm telling you, as someone who coaches it now, it is this eye-opening moment that tells you everything you need to know about your identity. And then all of a sudden, the dots start going off. Or the light bulbs start going off. You start connecting the dots. And as you said, Rory, when we're resetting our compass, this is when we wake up and we start asking really big questions. What am I doing? Why am I here? Is this job the right job? What can I do to be better in my relationship with my significant other? Am I a good parent, or do I want to be a parent? And watching people work through that, I mean, it's amazing, really amazing. We have 2 people that'll be joining today who have amazing stories that they could both easily be coaches in Mastermind because they're so strong. And their stories, we can all find our stories in where they had these moments where again, the clouds didn't part and the angels didn't sing. They had these real moments about, what do I do every day? What are my habits? How did those really, how are they an extension of who I am? And are they getting me where I want to be? Because here's the real crux of it all. The real crux of it all is when we don't have a plan for ourselves, somebody else or our biology have a
Yeah,
plan for us.
it's fate.
And that is no way to live, where you feel like this small boat out on the ocean being knocked around.
Yeah.
So anyway, I get
No,
excited
absolutely.
about this. I totally get excited about this stuff. You can tell. I'm sorry for rambling, but
Well,
I just love
the
it.
hardest thing is when you know that these things can have such a, not the hardest thing, but it's hard not to be so enthusiastic about these things when you see what the outcome is for people. And they have no idea going into it. They're feeling this, not quite there or whatever. Could be negative stuff, but basically, I'm not feeling comfortable in my life or whatever that is. And then they go through this process and they come out supercharged, right? People are
Totally.
starting businesses, starting a podcast, whatever they're going off to do, but they're coming out of this process supercharged with clarity, with a vision, many with a renewed sense of purpose and meaning, which is so critical, right? People are making inroads and decisions into their life, which is helping them really think about the next trajectory.